Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and welcome to This Week in WoW for the week of July 6th. The raid day is here, Season 2 is officially here. We're not going to start with Mythic Plus affixes this week, simply because, as I expected last week, the rotation has changed, and we do not have a set rotation. As soon as that happens, whether it's next week or in the future weeks, we'll go back to starting off with the Mythic Plus affixes for the week. But since that's not available, we'll just go ahead and talk about what else there is to talk about this week. I did put out a video recently, basically going into more detail about everything that unlocks this week for Season 2. And if you want to, you can check that out for a little bit more commentary, but I will just run through things a little bit more quickly in this video for what to expect here coming out today for Season 2. So, the number one thing we'll talk about real quick first is the raid. Normal and heroic difficulties will be out. And it's expected, at least after the first people defeat Sylvanas, that we will get a cinematic. And that cinematic will probably shed some light on the storyline. Now, the storyline is a bit convoluted for some people. And if you don't follow what's going on via the novels and via the other media sources and via just people like theorizing it and stuff like that, putting clues together that are in the game that maybe you didn't stumble upon, which I'm not saying is a great way to do the lore. I wish it was a little bit more in the player's face, but we should get some. I hope so. The only way I will be disappointed is if we don't get anything at all, and it's just a pure cliffhanger. I'll probably be a little disappointed. But whether Sylvanas dies or lives, I'm fine with either. I'm fine if she dies. If she lives, though, I just don't want a cliffhanger. I want some sort of revelation, whether that's something to do, something huge with Anduin, something huge with the jailer, something huge with Arthas, right? Some sort of reveal, and I'll be pretty happy with that. And I'll also be happy if Sylvanas dies, which most people expect that she's not going to. But if she does, like I said, I'll be pretty happy about it as an Alliance player. I think some Horde players will be happy too. But I do know that she has her loyalists in the Horde as well. So try to respect that point of view as well. Other than that, so we have the raid coming out. Obviously, that'll be really cool. A lot of people will clear normal. A lot of people will start heroic, and then some people might clear heroic. It's possible the first day to clear heroic as a top guild. So we'll see what happens there, and I'm very excited about that. We'll also have the Mythic Plus affix coming, so I'm really excited to try this actually. I plan on doing a little bit more Mythic Plus this season because I do want to get those plus 20 ports. I know it was already available, but it kind of just felt, I don't want to judge anybody who did it, but it kind of just felt cheap to get the plus 20 port things unlocked before the actual season started. So I actually do want to get those this season because I think it's kind of cool. I think it's a cool reward. So I plan on doing a little bit more Mythic Plus than I normally would. And the affix actually looks really cool. I like it. I like having these 4 bosses that give you buffs. And if you choose not to do them, it makes the end boss really super hard. So you just go ahead and do them. And maybe like very top people will skip ones or whatever. But, I'm looking forward to just doing them as fast as I can. And then, doing the end boss with these buffs. And, I actually think it looks pretty dang cool. So I'm actually really looking forward to Mythic Plus season. We also have Talzavesh coming out today. Talzavesh is a very cool dungeon. If you haven't watched any videos on it yet, that's actually a good thing. I think it's better to experience these things live when you're doing them. And it's actually an amazing dungeon. There's a hard mode for it. There's no way to do the hard mode this week without doing like a buggy thing. And they may have even fixed the bug thing. Maybe they don't want it done this week before Mythic Week because of the 233 item level gear. Although heroic gear, and Mythic Plus gear is unlocked as well. So I don't know what the big deal is. But regardless of that, you're not supposed to be able to do hard mode this week. But there is a hard mode in Talzavesh. If your group person knows how to do it and whatever, basically they already know of the bug. So if they didn't fix the bug, I wouldn't consider it being exploited if you do it because they've already known about it. So it would be really bad of them to punish people considering they've known about it for, over a month, I believe, at this point. So that dungeon is really cool, though. It's really neat. All their mega dungeons have been hit so far, and this one actually is too. People have played on the PTR, and this is a really, really, really cool dungeon. Pretty much, whether it was Return to Kara, Mechagon, and now this, I really wish that they would emphasize these more, maybe make them even like 5-man raids or something like that, with like higher item level options. And maybe more difficulty options because it's going to have to be harder if that's the case. But yeah, it's just a really neat dungeon. So I definitely encourage you to check that out at least one time just to experience it because it's a really, really, really well done. by the team there. We also will just have more Korthia stuff opening up, more quest line stuff, chapter whatever. I don't know what chapter we're on, but your Covenant stuff. So what you're going to want to do is make sure you go back to your Sanctum first, regardless of your Covenant, before you do your Korthia stuff. I know if you're like me, you might be logging out in Korthia. You'll want to go back to your Sanctum, grab your Anima quest at least. You can grab your Soul quest too as well if you're there anyways, and then go to Korthia. You'll get the Anima quest on there, progress the storyline, get your renown. You'll then be able to do a story quest as well, and all that stuff. So it's just a really it is time gated, but the story is actually really good. I played it in the PTR. Some people don't mind the time gating because they only have a couple hours a week to play, but people who play like, I'm being hyperbolic, but people who play like 10 hours a day, it can feel, but time gating can feel pretty bad. But for like a very casual player, time gating probably feels quite fine, and maybe even there's too much stuff for them to do. So, you win some, you lose some, I guess. But the story is really good, and this week is no different for that as far as the revelations that will come out this week in the storyline. So looking forward to that as well. That'll unlock more stuff in Korthia as well. And yeah, there's more stuff to do, do your assaults and everything like that as well. So I'm super excited for this week. For me personally, what you'll have is a lot of boss kill videos being put up. I'll probably I stopped doing the Rep Paladin POV stuff. I think I'm going to go back to that. So I'll still be I post the videos for my guild, so they can use them on WoW Progress if they want, and that's why you see like the suboptimal in the bottom left of all the boss kills that I put up. But I think I might start doing the Rep Paladin POV as well. There's no reason not to, really, just so the Rep Paladin people can see the bosses if they haven't done them yet or whatever. And then if there's any updates, I'm hoping there'll be a little bit of updates once we actually get into the dungeon. We still don't have our Divine Resonance as Rep Paladins, but once we get into the raid and stuff and see how everything's working, maybe I can get some updates as far as actual Rep Paladin gameplay. So that'll be exciting as well. So yeah, a lot of raid type content this week from me. That's about it for this video. As always, I do ask you to please subscribe because it helps me out so much. And other than that, everybody have a good one.